Alright, I can now see stuff is somewhat working in a somewhat acceptable fashion. I can enable some stuff. I can bring some stuff out of the little hidey hole that I ended up putting it into as by necessity as a result of doing some stuff earlier that required the majority of the resources that I have on this thing. Somewhat greedily, but shouldn't be too big of a problem anyway. They see it works just like this. You know, that's something that I can say about this stream too. At least it works. And so too will be the minimum thing that I should be able to say about thing that I will continue to check out today, and yet begin to check out today at the same time. This is the dichotomy of the thing that I will return to and yet only begin to deal with in just a few moments here. I hope, yes. I mean, when I probably read the title of the stream, I realized that, yes, I did finish the new Heretic episode from the Heretic and Hexen re-release, which was Faith Renewed, and now see if I can move on to the other half of that whole new content sphere that has come as part of this re-release, which is, of course, the new Hexen episode, which is called Vestiges of Grandeur. At least I hope it is. I definitely have not seen this part of things nearly as frequently as I did with the other one. And even there, I pretty much only saw it when I was, you know, getting it ready for stream. But hey, there it is. The game has emerged in a very prompt fashion. And so I can switch this off now, but something that I did notice is that I think if I just pause this, I don't know if I have to pause it or if I have to like stop it entirely. Yeah, hit now to change to like a black square instead of just continuing to show the album art. I suppose that's a start. It doesn't quite delete it. Doesn't quite, you know, remove it entirely without me having to manually switch it off like this, but it's something. So could definitely have that as a thing in the future if I were so inclined, but right now let's just pop back into this. We got your Heretic, yeah, we got your Hexen, we got your Hexen Death Kings, which, yeah, as I mentioned, I'm pretty sure the release dates for some of these are not entirely accurate here. I think this one is, and I think this is the one with the problem, yeah, because I think this is the date for the expansion that Heretic had, not Hexen, but I don't know, maybe they'll fix it and make an update, but... And there are these two, and this is of course one that I'm going to be diving in today. I don't really know what to expect. I don't believe I've tested out the... I mean, yeah, much like with the Heretic bonus episode, I didn't really test out this one at all. Just kind of operating off of trust that it will work. That whole thing. I did briefly look into a couple of things regarding the, you know, the Heretic experience that I got as part of this remaster, and apparently I just completely forgot about this, but in Heretic you are supposed to lose all your extra items, like even in like 100% vanilla Heretic, and going from one stage to the next. I don't know, I feel like I didn't remember that at all, but maybe I'm mixing it up with Hexen where that may or may not happen, but I guess we're gonna find out. Let's see, because yeah, I'm not gonna change any of the options right now. I'm gonna start a new game. It does let you access the gameplay modifiers here if you hit tab. Yeah, I guess we're just gonna leave these on and trust that it'll make sense. Because yeah, apparently something else that I didn't realize at all, that I think I briefly mentioned at the end of the previous stream, if nowhere else, that apparently the rework for the ethereal crossbow in Heretic means that you basically have the buffed version of it all the time. Because apparently it doesn't, I don't know, I just don't remember. In the old version of the game, I could probably just watch my old playthrough of it if it shoots 5 bolts every time. I guess it doesn't. It's been a little too long, but of course the counterpoint to that, or yeah, the way that they nerfed it in turn, is that they lowered the... Okay, that's what I'm trying to do. They lowered the maximum amount of ammo for it you can carry, but Guess we're not gonna worry about that. But yeah, in Hexen, when I was playing Vanilla Hexen and the expansion, or my stream, I want to say, I don't remember, I would say at least for Vanilla Hexen, I definitely played as the fighter. I don't remember if I ever played the cleric or the mage, but probably just gonna go with the mage, because that seems like, you know, it might be... I don't think I've ever, like, completed any kind of full playthrough of any of the other Hexen episodes with the mage, but I might take this as an opportunity to check that out, because it's like, you know, the fighter is kind of like the generic, somewhat simpler one. Something else that I guess I might as well look into now is that I'm pretty sure that all of these characters have names. I don't know if we're gonna see the little opening cutscene from Vanilla Hexen. I guess we can check that out real quick. So, you know what? Why the fuck not? Because I did redo that completely. Our new game is not to play this game, but just so you can look at that. Let me switch what I'm looking at over here. Why do that though? Doesn't really matter.
Suspended within the fabric of time and space lies the realm of the Chaos Sphere. For eons, the Serpent Riders, masters of the sphere, have traveled the dimensions sowing destruction. Disparal is dead. Korax, the second rider, threatens another world. The world of Hexen. Hexen. A world where magic's legacy has spawned corruption. Three powers rule as one unholy trinity, each led by a single man, the warlord Zedek, High Captain of the Legion, is both judge and jury to all the peoples of Hexen. Traductors of the Church holds their souls in captivity. And Menelkir, the subtle master of the Arcanum, weaves his unholy magic to spread fear and weakness amongst all of their subjects. Restless in an uneasy alliance, these twisted leaders rule a twisted land, crushing absolutely all who would dare to oppose them. Today they will trade their worldly power with Korax for the dark gift of unlife and a mastery of forces more terrible than even their depraved minds could ever imagine. From the ranks of corruption, three heroes emerge, fighting for a single cause: the destruction of the masters they once served. Their names will become a thing of legend. Baratus, Daedalon, and Parias must heal the world of Hexen for all time. The world must undergo a testing. A journey must begin.
Well, that did reveal the main feat. Wanting to figure out by looking at that which was the names of the main characters. Baratus, Daedalon, and Parias. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I went over all of this when I did like my original playthrough of Hexen on the stream several years ago. The whole thing, yeah, you got like these guys that are like the good counterparts to the three evil villains who serve the big Serpent Rider villain, and then you do have to fight those guys at the end, and I think that's basically what happens in the I don't remember. I think, nah. Might be mixing it up with like the boss levels in like Shadow the Serpent Riders for Heretic, where you don't fight the Spiral a second time like you do at the end of Faith Renewed, but instead you fight like Molitor's and stuff. But I think in the expansion for Hexen you do fight both, like the evil three guys and then Korax again at the end. But I don't remember, but anyway. A lot of preamble, but I think, yeah, we're just gonna default to the mage. I think the main thing to remember too is that in Hexen, like, if you start with the fighter or the cleric, actually, now that I think about it. If you start as the fighter or the cleric, the main, like, basic attack that you have is melee attacks, and even some of the powered up attacks are also melee attacks, but the mage is like the only one I think that just defaults to range for just whatever thing you have. So that's the main reason, which draws me to check that out as well, but I think something that's new in this version too is that you can actually switch characters like mid-game, which you couldn't do in the original, I don't think. I just picked generic middle-of-the-road skill level, and here we go. I guess we are pariahs. We assume that the little roll call at the beginning was you know, naming them off in order of how their classes appear. But before we carry on, there is one other thing that I wanted to check out. Okay, no, apparently that is not right. I did take a quick look at this at the wiki. Apparently Pariahs is the cleric and Daedalon is the mage. So we're playing as Daedalon right now, not Pariahs. And sure, also that cutscene did kind of a weird thing. I mean, you saw, like, they redid the whole thing. It looks way fancier now than it did like in the DOS days, where it was like, we just compressed the shit. But one thing that they did keep mentioning in that was that they say that it's like the world of Hexen, as if the world of Hexen is called Hexen, but I'm pretty sure that the world itself is supposed to be called Kronos, and Hexen is just like, you know, the name of the game. I don't know why they did that in such a way, or if they changed their minds later or whatever there, but you know, is an actually kind of thing that I figured I would mention. But I wanted to read a little blurb that happens, that, like, I think the Bethesda website has this for, like, the preamble, the premise of this new episode, and that is: Corax lingers between life and death, his shredded corpse left behind with no semblance of life, while he clings to a fresh, if fragile rebirth. Even though we already killed him twice, presumably if this takes place after Death Kings. His grip on Kronos is once more released, yet the cycle continues, probing at other forces at work. An invisible hand puppeteering both Corax and you, weaving a star-crossed destiny that will never die. And if that hand tugs the threads of fate again, what surprises yet are in store for you? So I guess it might be like nothing else. Subtle suggestion that, much like in the new Heretic expansion, we might be seeing some new stuff, not just the levels, but some new critters, perhaps, as well. I don't remember, like, all of the critters in Hexen, though, I will say. Nearly as well as I do remember the critters in Heretic. Nothing else owing to the fact that I haven't replayed Hexen nearly as much as I ever replayed Heretic. Do you remember these two-headed guys being called Etins, though, I think? There's like these centaur dudes who show up later are like kind of obnoxious in that they have shields and they use them a lot. There's also like the gargoyles, which I think are supposed to be the same kind of creatures from Heretic, but they are, you know, actually grey and look like they're made of stone in this game. The serpents, the green serpents that you know, actually show up as some generic enemies in this game, vanilla, not like in the Heretic expansion where they were introduced into that game as generic enemies, or just like no enemies at all. Like I keep mentioning, in vanilla Heretic you never fight or you never see the serpents outside of the final boss. Which is him riding one of them. And there was one more thing that was definitely going through my mind just now, but could appear that I've forgotten. What had to do with the flechettes? Yeah, these green potion things that you pick up, yeah. If you scroll through the inventory, which I believe I will do in a moment, you can actually see that they do have that, you know, handy dandy new feature in this version where they actually tell you what each item's supposed to do, instead of you having to look it up or just figure it out by blind testing. And it is a magical bomb with class-based effects, and I think just like it behaves the same as a time bomb of the ancients from Heretic if you use it as the warrior, but as the I guess it might be the same way if you use it as the mage, but I think if you use it as the cleric anyway, it's maybe you throw it as the warrior and as the mage you just put it down. I don't remember, but the thing I do remember is that as the cleric, I think it produces like a cloud of gas that's actually like a really overpowered offensive weapon that you can use to like melt some of the enemies. Rusted key. Alright, so but yeah, it's actually fairly apropos that I should come back to Hexen at this precise time, I think, because in my own time that is, I've actually been continuing through my amazing quest of trying to... Oh yeah, as you notice, you can jump in this game, by the way. It's not something you can just do at default in Heretic, but I have been going through a lot of like old school shooters in bid to check out as many both immersive sims and immersive sim adjacent games as possible. And something that's kind of unique about Hexen, as you know, is the fact that it's not like, you know, other Doom engine shooters. In that you just kind of go through the level in a completely linear fashion. And you just, you know, go from one level to the next, you clear that level, and then never go back to the one that you came through before. No, it's more like a Metroidvania style progression where you have to keep going back and forth between a group of levels, which they call a hub, of course. And it is only when you clear the final task that you have in that hub that you get to move on to the next one, and there's a few more games with that, with like a comparable kind of structure that came out in like the old school shooter days, and one of them is actually Quake 2, which I've been playing on my own recently. Okay, I think these are the sandbars that I heard about. They just shield a lot, and it's kind of obnoxious. I get a feeling that might be, yeah, I think that I read about this actually, like part of the rebalance. The cheat for the enemies in this version is that they don't actually shield nearly as much or as obnoxiously as they did in the original game, with the original enemy behavior. That's something that they actually tweaked. But yeah, in Quake 2, it's like, you know, it's a follow-up to Quake, obviously, and the big thing about Quake was that it was one of the first shooters to like make use of a full 100% real 3D engine, and of course Quake 2 continues that. And, oh, what the fuck, okay, hold on. Yeah, there was another guy just right behind me trying to shoot there. But yeah, in Quake 2 you pretty much have to go through a series of levels that are interconnected, and you can backtrack through them. Each have like their own goals that you gotta do, and they each have like their own puzzles and like groups of enemies that you can gain out gradually. And only after you beat one of these sets of levels, which are called units in that game, do you get to move on to the next one. But of course, you know, one thing that I definitely noticed right away when I went back to Quake 2, which kind of reminded me where I ended up like slacking and playing more of that a bit more consistently than I could be, is the fact that unlike in Heretic and Hexen, there are plenty of enemies with hit-scan attacks in that game. I don't know, I guess I say that I'm definitely spoiled to some degree by, well, there's one of those servants, and yeah, they definitely got done a lot easier than the ones that they put into Heretic's new episode. I'm definitely, I guess, spoiled by the what feels like a luxury, I guess, in comparison of Heretic and Hexen, where you have no enemies restrained attacks that are hit-scan. It makes it feel so much more natural to play, I don't know. Because you don't have to deal with the fucking Heretic equivalent of nuts.wad, which is what they put into the new episode. That's the secret level, like I said. But they did also give you the a new weapon that you can pretty much turn into the Heretic equivalent of the BFG when you use the... what do you call it? The Tome of Power, so there's that. I mean, you presumably thought it all happened. You could have seen it all happen if you had watched on stream. Or you could have read my very, very brief backlogged review that I did of it, which is a thing that exists. If you knew what my backlogged account was, which, you know, hint hint, it's not very hard to figure out. I say it's not very hard to figure out, but I say that while being completely aware that I have many, many different usernames that I've used during my time on the internet that people have known me by. Right, I think we go in this direction. I was wondering if this thing was gonna... okay. I'm gonna stay up, or if it was gonna go back down after a certain amount of time. I suppose the latter is the case. I don't know, it feels a lot easier to pick out all these guys with the bolt attack that you have as the mage, which I suppose is kind of weak. I think, if I recall, relatively speaking, compared to the default attacks, or just most basic attacks that the cleric and the fighter have, but of course the X factor that it has is that it is both ranged and has unlimited ammo, so I'd say that it works quite beautifully. In a situation like this one, I keep being that I'm not gonna regret playing as the mage at all. I will see. And we get the discard repulsion, blast away objects with great force, nearby objects, and a quartz flask. That's 25% points of health. How does this work again? Okay, I think it's just you don't actually drop anything or see anything after you use it, so okay. Hopefully we do have this. Oh gosh. I guess I maybe need to jump a little bit sooner so I can stop myself here. What happens if I try to just by inching forward? Does it work? Not really. I can kind of do that, but now it can't actually reach the opposite problem that I was having before. Oh, I hear movement. Oh, okay, that opened up, or maybe not opened up, but like merged. Maybe I should go check that out. But the switch seems a lot more easily accessible, so what if I check this one out first? I can now go across, but what if I... okay, if we do get on here, I guess maybe now that we've made it on, we can like use this to get back up if full. Okay, I guess we can. That's good to know. That's if you don't abuse, you know, the save system as much as I'd like to. But then again, you cannot tell me that that is not how a lot of these mains... what the fuck am I saying? I'm like eating all my words right now. Which means that, yeah, probably we'll have to make this a relatively short stream after all. Well, what I was trying to say was, you cannot tell me that abusing saves is how a lot of these games are not meant to be played. I have this option, I have no penalty for using this option, why wouldn't I take advantage of it? For one thing, but also, oh gosh, I got a few fellas in here, hold on. But also, you know, right now it does feel like abusing saves is a little bit extra, like I only took a tiny bit of damage there, I could have just eaten it and kept going, but... But as you saw, there's stuff like the fucking, you know, the later levels in the Heretic expansion that we saw where it just was like... you are liable to just fucking die at any moment, so... So would you rather just have to replay the whole level to get back there, or what, basically? Even though this is definitely not quite the same as that. We have the same engine, the same system, the same gameplay. Why wouldn't it be comparable? Definitely comparable to some extent. Is my argument there. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I would have expected from the game. This kind of additional weapon that I could use to maybe, you know, not take quite so long taking out those centaurs at least. But I've not really found out if that's the case. Oh boy. Wait, what the fuck? Okay, where did you come from? What the hell was that? And now that I know that something like that is gonna pop out. Oh, from over there. I just didn't want to come out quite as quickly before. I guess maybe I can, like, yeah, I don't know. I think that, like, slowing down a bit of my shots doesn't quite have as much of an effect of, like, getting those guys to keep their shields up as much as I would like to. Oh well. Alright. Definitely keeping my eyes peeled for everything resembling a, you know, better version of the weapon that I have. This set does appear to just be a dead end, though. Are there, like, enemies there? Yes. Okay. Can I shoot them from here? I don't think I can, but I have to, like, aim carefully. I don't know. Just wait. See if I can approach from a different angle. Find something that way. Also keep an eye out for secrets, maybe, because I don't know how they designed this episode, but you know, certainly part of the gameplay in OG Hexen, Vanilla Hexen is just based around, you know, walk around and clear out the enemies and just explore, and that's pretty much it. But you also have to, like, keep an eye out for, like, any switches that you can find, because sometimes you have to, like, press each one in a collection of switches, and only after you've done that will some kind of new thing emerge. Okay, I think we're about to get that new weapon I was talking about. We're getting blue mana, which is like our ammo. That's actually expendable in this game. You get blue mana and green mana, as you can kind of tell by looking at the meters there, and you get the frost shards. Yeah, I do remember this. I mean, right now we can keep using our regular stuff, but we run to another centaur. I will see if I can test those frost shards out. I better, you know, try my best to, like, get accustomed to the way stuff works in Hexen again. Maybe I'll try to, like, squeeze in, like, another, like, a repeat playthrough of Vanilla Hexen in my own time. I managed to get past Quake 2 before I get to Hexen 2, because I'm pretty sure Hexen 2 is going to be, like, very similar. Pretty sure I have played, like, most, if not all, of the first hub in Hexen 2 at some point in the past, but I just never made it past that, and I do want to stream that, so. But I am getting ahead of myself right now, I guess. I guess I'll just take a look out here and see if anything's changed, because I don't know if it has. I got the weapon. I don't know if getting the weapon changed anything. Okay, I don't think we've gone this way. I would have gotten that. Okay, yeah, these guys just look like the generic agents to me. I'll deal with them this way. There's no reason why I shouldn't. And this is just like dragon skin bracers, right? I think, alright. You know what, if that's alright. Because we can't use those. Yeah, we can, never mind. Temporarily increases movement speed. I thought there might be like a boost armor by up to 4 AC. Well, we can just use that, can't we? Yeah. I thought that the armor stuff was like always automatically equipped, but I guess not. So I was gonna say, if we had armor or whatever, we would see that here on the little map screen at the bottom right, but maybe not. I don't know. Can't remember if you have to, like, manually use the items from the inventory like that, so just, you know, having them be automatically used in, which is what I would have expected to happen, but maybe it's a remaster thing, because, like, I'm pretty sure that's something I read about for Quake 2, because, you know, that's also a Night Dive remaster. They do all the old school shooters, pretty much. Why the fuck am I stuck here? I don't want to get... Hold on. I do want to shoot those guys through the bars, but I don't want to get stuck trying to dodge their shit while doing so. But before I interrupt myself, what was I saying? Oh yeah, for Quake 2. I never played Vanilla Quake 2, but apparently in the remaster, something that they changed is that some of the items, like, no longer get used automatically. And compared to, like, immediately when you pick them up, compared to the original version, they get put into your inventory instead. I think that one major difference between, like, Quake 1 and all versions of Quake 2 is that you can find quad damage, but you can carry it around in your inventory, so you don't use it immediately. You can just wait for, like, the best strategic moment to use that. Can I just open this door, by the way? Yes, I can. Okay, that'll make it easier. But one thing that apparently in Vanilla Quake 2 you did always use immediately upon grabbing it, but yet that you no longer do in the remaster, instead it just goes in your inventory, is adrenaline, which you can only carry a few of those things around, but what they do is that they raise your maximum health permanently by 1 point. So it's, I don't know, it's weird that they made that change, since it's exactly the kind of thing that you would want to use immediately every time, I think. This is the porculator. Hold on. Let me see what else is in this room. While I grab that, because I get the feeling that something is gonna happen when I grab that. But yeah, there's also other items you can use, like, I don't remember if, or it's not that I remember, I couldn't remember because I never played Quick One Vanilla, like I said, but I don't know if, oh wait a minute, let's test this, oh fuck, let's try to test this out without getting cheaped out like that. Hold on. What was we talking about just a moment ago? Quake 2? Yeah, I never played Quake 2 Vanilla, so I don't know. Okay, that didn't let me. I don't know if this was a thing that existed in that game at all, but in Quake 2 Remaster you do have... Oh gosh, okay, this guy didn't die. Like I hoped he might. Damn it. Okay, so it's not working quite as well as I would have hoped. Okay, hit him with one blast of the ice thing, and I think if I try to hit him again, immediately gonna block it, maybe rebound it back at me, which is not great. So that's a shame. Management device. Is this the same thing as in Heretic where it lets me just warp? No, it warps enemies away. It's not like in Heretic where you get something like that called Chaos. Oh fuck, Chaos device. I think where instead of doing like anything to the enemies, it teleports you back to the beginning of the stage. Okay, I'm going to assume that I do want to have that pressed, but what I don't want is to get shot to hell by that thing. Turn off again? Okay, thank goodness. Yeah, I'm guessing that this over here is where it opened up, and now we get green mana. I'm pretty sure I never made it far enough into any kind of a playthrough of Hexen Vanilla that I could ever get like green mana, or like more than one new weapon for the mage, so this should be new to me. It's the Arc of Death. Oh boy. I'm guessing this one uses green mana. Let's see. Yeah, it does. Okay, just want to see how it works. I honestly have no idea. And we can get back over there, and that's how we get the green key, which I guess we will snatch that up right now. See if anything happens as a result of that, which apparently it doesn't. Did I even finish my thought about Quake 2 difference? Yeah, I don't think I did. Let me take a quick look outside. Okay, no, we have to come right back here anyway, because that's the green door. Alright, let's see if I can finish my thought this time. I never played Quake 2 Vanilla, so I don't know if there's a thing that existed in that at all, but in Quake 2 Remaster you get a compass that tells you where to go, basically, to make progress, because much like in this game, or at least Vanilla Hexen, you know, you have the non-linear progression, so I guess they may have put that in as a way to, like, make sure players don't get lost. I guess a little bit like the key in Mirror's Edge that lets you know, like, which direction you're supposed to go, at least. Oh boy. Oh, okay. That guy did get crushed by the door. I don't remember that been happening with Hexen, honestly, where it's like Duke 3D, where they get squished by the door if their corpses are right under it closest. Oh shit. There we are. Anyone else in here? Anyone else against which I would actually want to use these fancy new weapon that I got? Which I activate with number 3, yeah. That might be like it for weapons that I'm gonna have available, honestly. I don't know, I want to say that the ice thing doesn't feel quite as useful. That's what some of the other weapons that you get for the other characters might have been, but... okay. Oh, the other one does look pretty cool. I don't know. Because I'm pretty sure from what I vaguely remember is that even if you use the ice spell thing, ice shards, frost shards, if he's an enemy, it doesn't actually kill them outright, you still have to like shatter them with a different attack. So it's like the job's only half done. We are taking our time getting past the... Oh boy. Past the first map in whatever this hub will turn out to be though. I wonder if it's gonna be like... I guess, you know what other game that I ended up playing recently? Relatively speaking, that ended up reminding me of, you know, the non-linear hub progression that this game has. Ironically enough, was the first Turok. Which is a franchise with which I have a bit of a weird history. I think as a kid the only Turok game I played was Turok Evolution on the GameCube, which apparently is a game that doesn't have the greatest reputation, but I don't know, it was like fun enough, at least when I was a kid. But I did end up playing the, you know, wouldn't you know it, the, sure is also a Night Dive version of the original Turok game, which came out for the N64 and I think also the PC way back when, but everyone just knew it from the N64. And in that game, yeah, it just kind of throws you in at the beginning, but when you get to the end of the first level, that's where you actually find a hub that's... It's like a circle of teleporters that bring you to every other stage in the game, and then you have to keep coming back to that part of the first stage. After you clear each one of those levels. And the way that you have to explore the levels isn't just like you have to get from point A to point B, and if you get to the exit you want, you have to like actually explore enough that you find specific stuff like keys and such. And if you don't find all of the keys, you can't actually advance further into the other levels. I'd say at least somewhat comparable to how the, you know, non-linear exploration-based progression works in this game, but one major difference, one thing that didn't really strike me all that great about Turok, but that I ended up being able to put up with for what it was worth, was that in Turok the enemies have like infinite response, even though the ammo that you get doesn't have infinite response, so you have to like carefully manage that, figure out if you want to like try to kill every enemy you come across, or if you want to just run away sometimes. Okay, hold on. Trying to move forward here, but I'm not sure which way I can go. I guess one thing that's different, if nothing else, of the or something that I have to change. Something that seems a bit different anyway. I don't know if you have to like change this, is that if look at the map, it doesn't show you like how many enemies are left on that map. Whereas at least in the Quake 2 remaster it does show you that. I mean, I can't imagine that it would be here at all, no. Be here, so please, I would expect if it were here at all. It's nothing you can turn on and off, but I guess it's not. Oh well. It doesn't show you number of enemies and it doesn't show you number of secrets, which, yeah. But I assume that's something that we saw in Heretic, so I guess I would assume that was on by default. And there, I just have like a little helmet there, silver helm or whatever. Do you have to use that as well? No. As a reminder, though, we did get a porculator, which is pretty much the same as a morph oval from Heretic, except instead of turning the enemies into chickens, it turns them into a different farm animal pigs. And of course you can, like, I'm pretty sure that if you do multiplayer, I don't remember if this can happen in single player at all. Maybe it can. But if you do multiplayer, you can actually get hit with those items yourselves and turn into either a chicken or a pig, depending on the game. And you can still, you know, walk around, I think, maybe jump, and you can do a really basic attack where you either peck or bite. Which can be interesting. But yeah, I don't really know how you would accomplish that outside of multiplayer, because I'm pretty sure there's an achievement in this version for getting turned into a chicken anyway. Like getting turned into a chicken and surviving. As we did see with, you know, the more volume in Heretic that does for after a while. Oh wait, hold on, we got Sandors. Might be a good opportunity to try this out. Shit. This guy will stay still long enough I can... We get it, there we go. That went well. Seemed worthwhile, and I'm pretty sure we saw these, you know, just generic, shit, we got more critters in here. So I see we saw these generic, or at least red, kind of dodecahedron-shaped mana containers. Well, they're not right here, they're over there. But pretty sure the whole thing about those is that they do, in fact... Oh fuck, I was paying attention. Store both types of the mana that you have at once. Okay, that was stupid of me. Let's try... Oh fuck, that again. But this time, you know... Well, it looks like the electric attack works very, very well against the Sandors in this version, at least. Maybe someday I'll like try to play the, I guess, the old Hexen about the enemy rebalancing tweaks and see if that still applies, or just look at my old playthrough. But I don't know, I might be too lazy to do that. Oh shit, okay. I think starting streaming these lights may have... Oh. And apparently... Okay, yeah, I just... look, achievement of... hoarding, basically, by collecting up to 25 of any item. There's a Mystic Urn. I get the feeling that we might actually end up losing the extras of all these items if we go to, like, the next hub. Without having used them, but... maybe not, I don't know. I'm certainly inclined to find out. Well, as usual, Quartz Flask seems the most useful, just by virtue of the fact that it helps you stay alive. What do we have here? It's a switch. What will the switch do? And, I can take a peek outside, I guess, and take a look at these things again. These red things, yeah, they have both the blue and the green markings, where... You know, if you squint, it kind of looks like the blue one could be a stylized rendition of the Hiragana, and then the green one just looks like the katakana, I think. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's just supposed to be the same symbol, just like turned upside down, but you can certainly look at it that way. Like, hey, did you know? In the Spyro series, where the name of Ripto came from, quite an interesting thing, and it's even funnier if you know, look at the specific thing that inspired that. You can see it right away. It's like a Chinese room thing, I guess, where you can associate meaning to a specific symbol, a specific pictorial representation, but that very same pictorial representation can have an entirely different meaning depending on if someone else sees it who is willing to or used to associating a different meaning to it. And it kind of makes you think, you know, to what degree is that based on like that specific person's knowledge, and to what degree could both of these things have like possibly some kind of connection to a common root that they may have derived from, and that, you know, that influences the other thing. And what is the significance of all that? Or is there any significance to that at all, or is it just a massive coincidence and you do not take stock into putting any further thought into that? I don't know. Something to think about. But hey, we made it to the end of made it to the red X on the map. I think it's just a Hexen from the... Oh, you can't see it here, but... But, hold on. Let me just make sure that I save my game. I'll make a manual save just to be safe, and then... That gives me. We go to change the game and go to Hexen. Well, you can see it right there in the logo, and you can see it on the artwork there. There's a giant red X. You can even go in there, but we can load back into Vestiges of Grandeur, and that same relics that shows up here on the map some marker, I guess they added to this version to show that, hey, here's the exits. And here's the ugly Korax faces that sometimes talk to you. Let's see what's gonna happen here. No, I guess not. No. It sounds different. I am more excited to hear more of the like remixes. I think it's Andrew Holsholt who does the remixes in this game. Not because I'm pretty sure I don't have a recollection of the, you know, original Hexen music that's nearly as clear as the one that I get from Heretic music, and you know, Andrew Holsholt has done a few interesting remix things. Apparently he did the like redone version of the Rise of the Triad soundtrack when they did the 2014 remix of that game. And I think he's also just done a few things for the Nighttime remasters. And also been involved in like some of the stuff that's in like the Bethesda Doom sequels started coming out in 2016. Alright, I'm coming down. Oh well, there's 3 of these guys. I thought there was only 2, but dude should be pretty near dead anyway. I don't know, it does seem a lot easier to just fucking fight the enemies with the like weak range attack that the mage has compared to what it would be like trying to do it with the other characters. Default attacks. We could definitely, you know, use more of our magic now. But, you know, I am a stickler for saving that for special occasions. Oh, I do wonder where we're going though. Where are we going? Well, I guess finding a centaur is a special occasion. Finding 2 centaurs even more so. Because those guys are a pain in the ass to fight without the, you know, using a special magic. What else was I gonna say? I think I was just gonna make a comment about, like, right now we're just trying to figure out where we even have to go. Can we jump over there? Yes, we can. Okay. Find a torch. I don't know if that's gonna be of any use to us, but I'll use another percolator as well. Presumably we do get to hoard those as well, at least a little bit. What else we have? Just a torch, yeah. Temporarily lights up the night. Not that I expect we will have a huge necessity for that. So I don't think we run into that in like the new episode of Heretic. We switch things up so that even if you don't have the torch, if you wander into a super dark area, it still feels like pretty simple to navigate. Something like that. These fellas first. Are they like fighting each other? No, they're not. That's a bit disappointing. Are we, by the way, Serpent Temple? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing much of a, you know, traveling between maps thing, or a puzzle thing with this quite so far. That you can see, like, with the vanilla game of Hexen. Right at the beginning with the 7 portals, which is... I think 7 portals is, like, legitimately one of the best ways that you can introduce people to the, like, gameplay and structure of Hexen. Like, I think pretty much every part of vanilla Hexen is, like, pretty remarkable. I think my favorite will probably remain either the 3rd or the 4th hub in that game. I particularly like the aesthetics of the 4th hub, which is something that ended up coming back to some of the other old school shooters that I've been playing. Just like Blood also has like a bunch of spooky castle levels, or maybe not a bunch, but definitely a few. And then, you know, Chasm the Rift, which is kind of a Quake ripoff. Also has like a medieval castle level, funnily enough, because that's one of those games where like plot is that you're fighting evil aliens, but you're not only fighting evil aliens, but you're also traveling through time to fight evil aliens. It's somewhat unique in that sense, I guess. You know, this town here is actually reminding me a bit of Star Wars Dark Forces, if nothing else. Like in Star Wars old school Doom adjacent boomer shooter game that I also played in recent history. And funnily enough, I think that one, if you play like the super vanilla version of that game, one part of the game that it might turn off some people who are trying to get into it, is the level that is the one that makes me think of this part, which is the one where you go into the sewers and have to fight like spooky creatures that live in the sewers, which I think are implied to be the same creature that's, you know, in the garbage room in the Death Star in episode 4. Green mana, if you don't mind. If you manage to get that, don't worry, there's still, oh boy, Coil Chalice. Still plenty of other nonsense gonna have to deal with elsewhere in that game. A mysterious artifact, you cannot use this here, right? So, okay, so you say in different pitches if you try to use that in the wrong place, but yeah, we finally found something that might allude to a puzzle. Can't like get back down there by looking over here. Can you? We have to like actually fall there to get back to where we were. If we look around here, we're either gonna end up at the bottomless pit, or we're gonna end up in a place that's we can't really jump out of here. I guess this would probably be a good place to use the torch if you're so inclined, but I mean I could definitely manage without it. We get here, jump across, and actually make it, please. I don't know why if my voice feels a little congested right now, if it's because of the hour, or if it's because of the fact that I had a small taco dinner before I began stream. Which I can't imagine would be a direct correlation there, but you know. Honestly, that there is some part of me that wants to see the, you know, the number of enemies just so I can see the number go down each time I take down a little group of them like that, but yeah, maybe it's a bit more natural to just manage without. We do have a couple of keys, but oh yeah, forget about that. I guess the keys that you find apply for like anywhere within the entire hub. So we have the green key and the rusted key. That doesn't mean, oh boy. That doesn't mean that we can use those keys for other doors that we find. We have to find other keys to open up other doors that we found maybe later areas, or perhaps we take those keys back to earlier areas if we found any such doors that went unopened, which I don't believe happened in this case though. Okay. Noticing a few things now. I don't think I actually explored. Yeah, definitely didn't explore this part of the map before. I'm kind of wondering if I climb this, will it take me back? Okay, oh, more dudes coming out of there, and there are, but what I wanted to find out here, if this takes me back to where I was before, and yes it does. But, well, I guess as long as I'm here, let me grab these things, which I believe I can. Yes, I can. I think I like kind of detour back to the place that I came from. Hopefully I can manage that. And, I'm gonna look at the map and see if there's like anything that I may have missed over here that I could be interested in, but the implication seems to be no. It's like a, you know. Secret area that I didn't manage to go through before. Perhaps if I crouch, I think I can crouch. in this game, though. Well, the game is not being very, unambiguous in that regard. It's not like in Quake 2 Remaster that I was talking about earlier, where that one you actually... Can we go back to the same map that we were at before? No, wait, that just brings you back here. Brings you forward. In the Quake 2 Remaster that I was talking about before, it actually has like a few different like bonus episodes that you can do. Bonus game modes, campaigns, I guess you can call them. And in like base Quake 2, you're able to crouch, as you would expect. But if you try to play Quake 64, which you might expect is an adaptation of the version of Quake 2 that came out on Commodore 64. Well, Quake 2 64, I guess. I said Quake 64 before. If you try to crouch while playing that campaign, you just get told there is no crouching in Quake 64. Like, you actually get those words on the screen. At least the first time you try to do that, and after that it's just like... Oh, like, you stop that. Who told you it's not gonna work? Alright. Well, here we are, and I think here in the fountain we get this block, which, if I'm not mistaken, this is where you can actually swap out your character for a different one. You can become the mage, so I kind of want to experiment with this a little bit, because we have 3 weapons for the mage, but if I were to switch to the fighter, for example, I have the fist. I don't have the axe, which I think is the second weapon that you can get for the fighter. I do still have like all of our mana and all of our armor class and stuff. So that's good. And we can also switch to the cleric, presumably. Oh yes, the mace and shield, which I don't think you can use. Oh no, you can. Never mind. I forgot about this whole thing. I don't really remember like how to use the shield, if I ever do. I don't remember if I ever used the shield while trying out the cleric, actually, because much like with the mage, I think like never got very far into the game. Any version of the game with that class. So hey, I think that maybe if we plop that serpent challenge that we found here, there we go. That'll do something, I expect. Guessing that's gonna be the order of business here. Oh boy. Is this gonna be poisonous water, or no, it's just mucky swamp water? Okay, so maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe we did just find like this this expansion's version of the 7 portals. Which took a little longer to get here than I might have expected. I'll just carry on with the mage for now. And if I like somehow come across the weapons that are specifically for the for the other classes, I guess I'll see if I can go back and swap out. But yes, Swamp of the Forgotten. Oh boy, is that a brown serpent? Oh fuck! Oh yeah, and these guys. I forgot. That's something else that I forgot in other games I've been playing recently. Oh dude, the fucking. They reminded me of the fucking water enemies that you fight in this game, because yeah, in this game you get these fuckers that just come out of the water and swipe at you. Which I remember being kind of obnoxious, but like there's definitely been like enemies like this in old school shooters, like at least as early as maybe Catacomb Abyss. Might be maybe like the earliest game in this style that I can think of that I played in recent memory that has enemies like this where they just pop out of the water to swipe at you. And it can be pretty obnoxious if you can't escape their attack. Like right now I would like to get out of the water because I've actually managed to at least clear out a few of them. You have to be mindful of these fucking serpents that are way over there. And okay, I thought this dude had green skin. Okay, are there like different like colored variants of the enemies in this game that I don't remember either, or is it just like the weird lighting that's here because... Oh, okay, that guy got blasted by the serpent, but I guess you don't care. Or does it? I think, yeah, no, it's gonna fight the serpent. But the serpent's still coming for me. No, that serpent is definitely brown. It's not green like the other ones that we've been fighting. Gosh. Okay, please do not, corner me here. Like I may not have made the best choice there after all. letting these guys get close instead of interfering. There we go. Assist from the Serpent there. Okay, I definitely do not regret, you know, having a class that has unlimited range attacks. This, playing through this particular hub, I tell you what. Let's see if I can clear out more of these fucking fish dudes. Mer people. Fishmen. But yeah, there's, I mean, the fucking enemies from that Star Wars game that I was mentioning earlier. The trash chute enemies. Monsters. Ugh. Could definitely count as enemies that are, you know, analogous to these. Like all the Catacomb 3D games that came out after the first one, so Abyss, Armageddon, and Apocalypse all have like some variation of that enemy. And each time I run into one of those, it made me think of the ones in this game. I wonder what else will be awakened within my pattern-seeking brain. Feels like I'm not particularly primed for noticing these kinds of things in media. Just the things that you can point out and say, hey, I know something else that did that too. And did it sooner, and did it in a very similar way, but did it sooner. It's the kind of thing that I've seen people turn up their nose at, but it's knowledge that I value greatly. It's like I value the ability to shoot through the bars when I can. Okay. Okay, there's one gargoyle left. If we can just get to that one. Shoot that one up. Find just the right angle. There we go. And now we won't have to deal with those guys when we get to the other side of those bars eventually. That probably would have been a lot trickier, if at all possible, if I had, you know, I've been trying to do that with a melee weapon. But no, I guess we're just playing, oh shit, I forgot about the fucking mushrooms blowing up and releasing gas clouds. I guess you could say that we're playing as Daedalon in this particular map, at least, is tantamount to playing as a continuation of what we're doing with Corvus in Heretic. I don't remember what that guy's name was. You got Flynn Taggart, the Doom guy, you got Duke Nukem, you got Daedalon, Price, and the other guy, Baratus, I can't remember his name. In this game, you got the Sheila, Corvus the Heretic in Heretic. Not that lore of, you know, the elves and stuff. And why Corvus and Heretic is like super important in that game. You can just kind of play through somewhat mindlessly, but presumably, you know, I will be glad that I paid a little bit of attention to all that stuff and actually get to Heretic 2 as part of this cycle. Okay, this is a big place. And we got more water fellas here. Hold on. Can I get out of the water now? Very. Oh gosh. Taking out a couple of those guys, yeah. I do remember this being kind of obnoxious if there's like a lot of these water guys near you then. But what the fuck is shooting at me? What's way over there? Okay, there's more water guys and they're shooting at me. What the fuck? That? I don't know if I remember. But yeah, I continue to feel very, very pleased with my, oh fuck, my choice to, you know, pick the range class for this particular run. I'm 100% justified. Right now I try to do what you do and start right next to me and trying to cheat me out with melee strikes so that I can then actually get in the water and get a little bit closer to those fuckers way over there that are trying to cheat me out with range strikes. Oh boy, but it also proves to be a little bit harder than expected. There's like a lot of these fucking things in the water, which does not help matters. Oh fuck. Alright, but we can manage. Just takes a little bit of patience. Doesn't take nearly as much patience as, you know, if this game was not a polished old school shooter game like, you know, Kent's Labyrinth. First game that comes to mind when I try to think about an unpolished game like this, because, don't get me wrong, I have a lot of nostalgia for that game, because I got, like, when I was a kid, tiny little tyke, I did have the shareware version of the game. And I liked watching my dad play through the first episode of that time and again. Which may have been his biggest gamer achievement ever. But, you know, revisiting that game many years later, it does kind of become evident that it's just like a more unpolished version of something like Wolfenstein 3D, which it was directly inspired by. Where the fuck are these guys not coming out of the water now? Like, provoke them directly? Come on. You guys are supposed to be the ones that are, the ones that are trying to kill me. What gives? That's how you're gonna come out if I, like, run into them like I'm tripping a fucking mine. There, jeez. I will say I do like the fact that they put in the foggy swamp environment that you see in, I'm sure, the second hub in Vanilla Hexen. Because that does give me one of my fondest memories of just exploring and discovering that game when I was streaming it, playing it through it for the first time, where you get the swamp level, which looks pretty much like this, but like one of the most unique and, I think, memorable environments in that is when you're wandering through the swamp and all of a sudden you, like, find a drawbridge and then you find a castle, and it's like, yeah, this place actually looks pretty interesting. And, like, pretty detailed and believable too once you actually start exploring it. Like, what the fuck is this doing in the middle of the swamp? That doesn't matter because it's just, you know, a really cool place to discover. Oh jeez, okay. It's a required item. So I need to bring an item here to where there's like hogs that we can see in motion. When we which items we have, we just have generic consumables right now. If we find another key item, I guess we can bring them here to this little swamp house. Can we open this door here? We cannot. So we found a dead end, but I better keep this place in mind. The eastern part of the swamp has the cog house, I guess. I don't think you can write on the map this game like you can in, like, Ultima Underworld and other insane games. I've got no idea how much my pattern-seeking brain lit up when I actually played Ultima Underworld earlier this year, and I saw the specific style of like map notes that game lets you do. Oh wait a minute, am I like? Okay, I'm like pressing C to figure out if that'll let me crouch. I don't think you can crouch in this game at all, but C and I guess V lets you do it. Lets you scroll through the item list the same way that the other keys that I have for that do. But yeah, anyway, to finish my thought, when I was playing through the Underworld earlier this year and I saw the like map note-making system that you have in that game, you have no idea how hard my pattern-seeking brain lit up when I saw that it's like basically the same thing that they put into the Thief games, the first two of those later on. Which, you know, makes sense, because there's Looking Glass for both of those, but... Well, Looking Glass are the very unfortunate name that they had when they were making Ultima Underworld 1, but... yes, we can increase our armor even further with that. That's nice. Remember, you have like a pretty hard cap on armor class that you can reach pretty early on, because you would think that if that were the case, you would be able to hit it quite early on, just by virtue of the fact that... Oh shit, that each fucking thing that you collect raises it by such a small amount, but... Okay, I guess we got more mermen somewhere around here, over here. And they will try to shoot me. They're extra rude. But I suppose this might be one direction that we haven't fully explored, or no, this is where we came out of. Yeah, I thought I had already cleared out all of the mermen that I found over here, but maybe not. What if we head in this direction? Yeah, I guess these tunnels I'd never fully explored. What about okay, this goes there, but you can't access the tunnel from there. Let me just take another look at the little I guess structures, what do you call these things? Not really houses. I don't know if I would go for as far as to call these things houses. Like maybe if you put in a few, if you finish the roof, put in a few doors and windows and some divider walls on the inside, it could be a house, but more like a, I don't know, some kind of derelict structure. It's all mossy as well. Oh shit. Got more mermen here. And they climb up the little ledges here. I get the feeling that they cannot. Well, I wouldn't stake my life on it. Can we pop over here? I grab the torch, which we probably know that I use. Like that. Torches are not particularly valuable. Me, I'm concerned that like I'm trying to think of any game where like feel compelled to use torches for the presumably intended purpose of lighting up the environment. I think the only game where I feel compelled to use torches is just because I'm forced to, and that's one way I'm forced to do so, or else I die, and that's Shadowgate. In that game you have to keep your torch lit, or else you just die. But, I mean, Ultima Underworld comes to mind often, once again, and I mean, in that game you get lots of torches, because in the vanilla version of Ultima Underworld you do get, very, very dark environments, so I guess it's kind of like Shadowgate, where you're just kind of expected to keep a torch lit at all times, just for the sake of being able to see, but if you played it the way that I did, which was with a mod that both makes the environments quite a bit brighter and also changes up the control scheme, then you don't need that, basically. I think not being able to use mouse look and instead having to like manually turn with the mouse and then like basically having to click on a weird wheel thing, which was like your only option, I think, back in the vanilla release. Okay, let's see what happens to fall here. It's a symbolic thing, but like moving your mouse cursor to the edges of the screen to turn your view is like where I draw the line. I will leak out mouse look as hard as I can rather than deal with that. Oh gosh. Can these guys open doors? I guess not, but I guess I will open it up for them. See, now would probably be a good time to use the lightning spell that I do have, or just occasions such as these, but how can I say I am stingy? This guy looks like his skin is green if you like move to a certain distance away, but you get her close and you see that it's actually brown, like the ones in the hub for this one, but then you look at the other servants and they look brown from a distance, then they look green from that kind of a distance, but then they get closer again, no, they are in fact brown. Even though we've seen ones here in the previous hub that they are green, no matter which, like how far away you are from them. I believe I spy some centaurs in there, but I wonder if I can like even hit them with the electric thing right here. Let's see. Oh shit. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, let's not waste that ammo. Let's go back in time instead. Deal with all these guys before we have to get in there. In the cheapest, but also most efficient fashion possible. I mean, maybe we can hit them with the ice shards, but that also seems like it would be pretty precarious and probably would lead to wasting some of your mana. Are these guys fighting each other? No. That's just wishful thinking, I guess. Sure, a lot of them though. Actually, I'm glad that I'm able to take care of them from a distance. Oh, fuck, really? Damn it. Well, now that I know that, I have to look out for that. You know, the dudes over there trying to figure out the angle that they can shoot me from. Which they don't seem to be having a whole lot of luck with now. Okay, there's another centaur. I thought there was just another Etin left in there. That's the Etin that we left. This guy who's going to be dead in just a moment, and I think we did leave, well, yeah, one of the centaurs alive. Let's see if I can take care of this guy. Don't get too close to that window though, or else you'll get shot from over there, it seems. I don't know, there's nothing therapeutic about being able to just take care of all these guys from a distance. This, without really putting myself in danger compared to, it makes me a lot better. It makes me feel a lot better after having to deal with, fucking, you know, nuts dot what bonus level from Fate Renewed last time. Didn't really say that. Makes it feel as though everything is alright again. At least to an extent. I mean, that level still exists, but also I have proven that I was able to get through that level one time. Legitimately. Without use of cheats or anything like that already, so that means I never have to do that again. Now let's pop in here now that everything is dead. See, this looks like a mess hole. This looks like a thing that could be a real deal. I guess, yeah, this is the... I didn't even register that, but I guess, yeah, this is also like a very strange place. I suppose this is the... this house version of the very same sort of structure that I was raving about just a little while ago. The swamp castle. There's a turret. There's the mess hole. We will explore again. What else do we have in here? And also, well, I hope we don't end up, you know, hitting the same snag that I did back in the other swamp castle that I was just raving about. Let's see. There we go. 1/4 of the secret has been discovered. Oh goodness me. I suppose we'll keep an eye out for that. But since we've already started down that path, I might. May or may not turn to some assistance to find any of it that I'm missing by the time it's gonna be done with the hub. I mean, probably that secret is hub wide. I don't know if it would be like only restricted to one particular map. I guess we'll find out. But yeah, I do remember those messages from Vanilla Hexen. You would see them quite a bit. Interact with some chain that you move or something, and then the game is like 1/3 of the puzzle. Oh shit, what? Okay. Where the fuck did the projectile come from? I didn't realize that there was another fucking... like a pool of water, I guess, with another merman up there. It's pretty surreptitious considering that that dude is not even visible half the time. I suppose the next order of business is just figuring out, I mean, I would assume that the stuff that I've been doing so far, or the thing that I just discovered just now, with the secret is just that, a secret, like I said, so it's not something that's required for me to continue. I'm wondering if there's going to be a puzzle like that, but that's for, you know, actually just being able to accept how actually it occurs to me that I can, you know, in fact, hit this guy with magic, so let me do that. It'll be a lot faster. Fuck, what hit me there? Come on. Is there another fucking merman over there? Yes, there's at least one. Only multiple of them, and they are all shooting me with with stuff that... Well, hold on. This guy's getting shot by the merman, but I guess he doesn't care. He still wants me dead, most full. I'm tempted to just, you know, do that. Well, it worked for one of them, so I guess we can get that. Oh, damn it. Hold on. Let me try that again. There. Wait. When they come out... No. And just barely missed them for some reason. I really shouldn't be missing them. It feels like I'm missing them by one frame. That's really not great. Hold on. Now that I know that it's probably not going to be quite as reliable as it should be. Let's use this door as a bulwark, I guess. I'll try to deal with them from this distance. There, that'll do. So this... I don't know, this structure does seem like it has a bit of a weird layout though, with... I guess you go up there and... Castle key. Oh, I guess we haven't been exploring places that require the castle key yet. Oh, I guess we didn't go this way either. Did we? No, we didn't. Came from there, but we haven't seen much of it in this direction yet. Before I go back to, like, I guess the high area of the castle. Let's see what lies beyond there. With, I guess the swamp thing that's at the top of this whole place. Let me take another step back down here and see if there's anything here that I missed. In these holes that do look a lot more castle-y than, you know, we left behind. Also, for any secrets, any more secrets that I can uncover to add to the one that I already did. What do I hear over here? A lot of dead bodies, but also a dungeon, perhaps. Wait, what? Okay, at least monsters down there. Oh yes, there are monsters down here. Hopefully, it's actually giving me fucking flashbacks. If I understand that this is like the same structure that actually pertains to the same puzzle that I keep jokingly referencing both in my stream title and just outright mentioned a little while ago. You know, the castle in Vanilla Hexen Hub 2, where we're in a room that looks just like this, I think, and one of these fireplaces actually has like a hidden switch that you have to like duck into the fireplace to find. That it's like really easy to overlook, but you need to find that to actually do the map. But fortunately, that doesn't really seem to be the case here. Otherwise, you know, I would be enough if that were the case. I would have... Oh, fuck. Found it already. Did we make it to the other side of the big chasm? That, I guess, yeah, the river. Sure, oh, fuck. That's a castle. Yes. Damn it. I would like to deal with these fucking, you know, fisherman please, in a sustainable fashion. I know there's more of them, and I know they're gonna try to shoot me. What? Okay. I didn't know there was one over in that direction, though, at that particular angle, but do I spy another one of the chalices that presumably we need to bring back to that central room? I guess maybe if I can find one more of those. Like, bring back the one in this area. Hold on. And, that'll be the point where I probably want to think that for now, but balloon. I see more of of these things in the water, but I guess they're not the type that shoot, or else they would just drop on their own. We're in a court already. Right, I think we might be good now. Is it a Crater of Might and not one of the chalices? No, it's just a Crater of Might. Okay, I didn't remember. Actually, oh, the swamp key. Okay, so we need a couple of keys to be able to get past this, but we do have a switch. I was gonna say I don't remember if, I didn't remember for a moment if the Crater of Might, because I saw that cup and I figured, is that a Crater of Might? Is that a thing that exists in this game? Because I did manage to remember that it doesn't in fact exist in, Heretic, because we did go through that episode recently and it wasn't there, but the Crater of Might grants full mana. There you go. The place where I've seen the context in which I've seen the Crater of Might the most, actually, is like my brief forays into the first hub in Hexen 2. Which, definitely looking forward to going through that, but right now I guess, well, I guess we didn't really do much other than opening the shortcut and grabbing that item. So we are gonna make our way back up to the top area if we can, if I can get my bearings again. It's this way, I think, yeah. We need the castle key to get through that, but we also need the castle key to, oh wait a moment. Shit. Fucking Twitch highlight also, like, just identifies those bots as, like, possible ban evader. And yet it still lets him post that message. Like, I feel like very rarely it identifies those bot messages and you just censor them, but most of the time it doesn't. It's really stupid. But it does show what Twitch's priorities are, I guess. It's definitely not for its fucking, you know, run-of-the-mill actual small stream users. Guess they have other stuff on their mind right now, though. Oh boy, we got the centaurs over there. We should probably just sap them, but first let me deal with the fucking fishman here. If I can. I don't have to concern myself with that. There we go. Well, I kinda wish that the mage attacks were like the Timon's attacks, for example, that the warrior has, that Maratus has, which... Oh, hey, there we go, we made it here. Where you can swing it and it's an attack that uses up magic, but the but sure you don't use up magic if the swing actually connects to your enemy. You swing it and it doesn't hit anything, it doesn't consume magic. So it would be pretty OP if we could like wash out a bunch of like electric arc spells and like you only lose mana for the ones that actually hit the enemies, but speaking of the Bone Axe, I think that's what we have here. Don't we? Bone Axe, yep. So we can switch to the mage now, or the fighter. We go back to the central area and have him be able to use that, but I don't know, that would be really worthwhile. Or just stick with one character for the entire hub. Trying to figure out if I guess I just never explored this place. I came out of here, didn't I? Yeah, when I first... Yeah, because that's where the castle doors are. Castle key doors. I guess I never tried to go in here, or else I would have found this place first and then go down and end up in the same place as if you go through the water tunnel there, maybe. Unless I have to do it in that order. Check out the Hagman's stuff that they just have here as a little decoration. And Gilded Chalice has been acquired, so I guess now we can make our way back. Oh fuck, to the central area with all the portals. Yes, much more like 5 portals than 7 portals, so. So back we go. Yeah, maybe we can do that, so. I mean, maybe spice it up a bit. So we are doing a bit of a game of chicken with friggin' Daedalon here. Let's switch over to the fighter Baratus. We can now use Demon's Axe, and yeah, you can swing Demon's Axe, which uses up blue mana, but it doesn't actually use up the blue mana if you don't hit anything. So let's grab this. Gilded Chalice, a mysterious artifact. You know what, let me check something, 'cause, like, just out of curiosity. Now it sounds like, Okay, that's the tone that we have. We switch to the mage and do the same thing. Okay, that is higher pitched. What about the cleric? Oh, and wait, can we use like a different weapon as cleric too? Yeah, we can. What weapon is this? I don't even know. I don't know, but apparently we have like at least one of the cleric's bonus weapons as well. So there you go. It uses up green mana, and it's fire based. And free the mage. Okay, that's the same tone, but if you switch to the fighter, it's lower pitched. And there you go. Well, anyway, let's just actually use the chalice. For it here, and there we go. Presumably now a new door is opened up there. Yep. And I see those, armor items up there. I would like to get them if possible, but I don't know how to get up there right now. And tiny mole tower there. I'd like to get that and that and that, but I don't know how to get up there. Maybe we'll find the Wings of Wrath here, as we sometimes I think that's a thing in all of the vanilla Hexen hubs. Where after you get to the end of it, you find the Wings of Wrath, and that actually lasts you for the entirety of the hub until you leave it. That pretty much just to make exploration a lot easier if you want to go back and like find secrets or what have you. Which maybe that's what's gonna happen here. I don't know. But let's just bring Baratus into this next area, which is the Glade of the Fallen. Which, oh boy. I would rather not get, smacked immediately, but I suppose that's kind of the risk that you take when you're playing. Oh boy. It's a melee-based class in a game like this. Oh boy. Yeah, because with this, I'm just gonna take a little extra finesse, because you can see they get right out of their faces. I mean, we can just punch these guys with this, I think. That is definitely something that should be viable. And you can actually, kill them pretty quickly that way, so it's ways to use Demon's Axe on them. But hey, it's certainly different. It's like, it's like the kind of thing they did in King's Field, but, actually fun. King's Field and Eternal Ring, for that matter. Eternal Ring, which is a game that I may or may not go back to someday. I don't know. Somewhat intrigued by that game, but I don't know. It intrigued me nearly enough that I actually want to go back to it anytime soon. Well, it certainly does seem like a good way to deal with the centaur, so I'll tell you what. Demon's Axe is, in fact, a nice thing to have in your inventory. We're playing as the warrior. Let's see. I mean, you can see the chalice on the map like pretty much immediately, but oh boy. Yeah, it is a bit more exciting, I guess, to have to come out to your enemies, knowing that you're gonna have to do melee attacks on them, but also make me more motivated to save scum, that's for sure. That guy. You kind of do the circle strafe, but it feels a lot less reliable, to say the least, because of how close you are to them. It's like that can, get turned around on you very easily. I guess you can find a sweet spot with kiting and like how far away you can actually get, or how far away you can actually be from them and still have your attack connect. Because yeah, the thing is, it does have some range, even if it is a melee weapon. Certainly sounds different. They're gonna have to do some like side-by-side listenings of like the original Hexen tracks that are being remixed here versus the remixes. Let's see how well they measure up. Maybe also give me an excuse to refamiliarize myself with a lot of the original Hexen tracks, because I think I only remember a very, very small percentage of them. Okay, so we know the chalice is there, and we can in fact see the chalice from here, but obviously we can't just approach from there. I'm just kind of wondering, can we jump down the well here? Yeah, we can. Okay, but die if we go down the well. Lava down the well. Oh, it's like a elevator from Terraria. They drew too much water and now it's all gone sour. And it's melted insides. Fuck, come on. See, I'm trying to do that efficiently, but yes, it's a bit of a consequence of me playing Quake 2, like I said, in that game. You have to deal with a lot of hit counter enemies, so if you don't play with saves coming, you're gonna lose a lot more health in the long term than if you are playing with saves coming. Just abusing that as much as I do. But if you do saves come efficiently, you can... what is it? You can, segment of the Wraith Verge. Okay, I guess that's one of the... that's one of the ultimate weapons, but I guess it's not the warrior's ultimate weapon, or else it would show up in the little quietest shaped hollow that's on the bottom right of the UI there. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, in Quake 2, if you saves come efficiently, you can get a very, very high health threshold and shield threshold, but if you just allow yourself to succumb to the hit scatters, that's gonna be torn through instead. Which doesn't feel great, so I do feel more compelled to like do a whole lot of fucking saves coming when I play Quake 2. Definitely say fuck. I don't know, help me to avoid the bullet. But since this fucker is right here, I should be able to just, I know how to do that. Oh fuck, okay. Okay, the game actually dropped some frames there for a bit. That's the first time that that's happened. But I've become a lot less accustomed to, quickly become a lot less accustomed to having any of my games drop frames after I've, started playing them off M2 SSD, which is still the case for this one, even though it's, kind of overkill for a game like this, but that for me there doesn't feel good. Come on. Please take care of this dude there. Done. Damn it. That's almost clean, but yeah, the between the kiting that you gotta do and the very narrow space that you have in which to do it. I mean, like, there sure are a lot of items just roaming around here, I would say. Okay, wait a minute. And something that I always wanted to confirm as well is like, how much do you get from each one of these little blue mana drops? Is it 15? I guess it is 15. I thought it was more like 20. Based on what, or even more, based on some of the adjustment that I saw earlier, but I guess it's 15 from one of these little lower green mana pickups. Or what if I get in here? Might be the better option at this point. But still, it's a better option if I don't get hit. That's, the main thing. There, jeez, finally. And let's continue to clear this place out. Guess maybe I'll try Baratus, or not Baratus, this is Baratus, the other guy, Arias. Or the next part of the hub that we have to deal with. Then I'll probably just, immediately default right back to Daedalon. Oh gosh. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. What the fuck? Okay, I want to say that that thing that's shooting there is in fact, you know, an enemy that exists in vanilla Hexen. I think I do recognize it. It's... might not be the most welcome sight, shall we say. Ugh. Gotta be dealt with, certainly. It's... God. I mean, these aren't... these guys aren't just... there's just a huge amount of them, or at least a large amount of them. That doesn't mean that they're, like, respawning or just anything, right? That's what I was hoping. Oh gosh, okay, no. I wanna... you know, manage my ammo efficiently, which means, you know, it's coming hard, but also not wasting stuff. Not just ammo on these guys, who do not require ammo to exterminate it. Thinking that this might actually be connected though to the whatever passage we need to go through to reach the chalice. The next chalice anyway. Oh gosh, but yeah. It does feel, it's just feeling more and more like the kind of place where, you know, using the torch might actually be advised though. Very dark, spooky graveyard. Lots of fucking dudes trying to fuck you up at every turn. Also, items just getting in the way. Well, some parts of this do feel like they're very similar compositionally to the like E1M1 Heretic track, which makes sense considering that I'm pretty sure, at least for the original soundtracks, you know, not the remixes, they were all done. Oh fuck, by the same guy, Kevin Shoulder, I believe his name is. All done by the same guy, I mean for both Heretic and Hexen. Again. Okay, so this is pretty tricky. This would be a lot easier with just data lock basic attack even, I'm pretty sure. Just by virtue of being able to, oh gosh, spam everything from a distance. Okay, how? She's got it 3 times without battlefields already. Nobody had gotten hit by one of the fucking friendly fire projectiles and he still didn't die. Really strange, to say the least. There. I think we might just have done it. At least most of it. No, there's still one guy left. There. No, it's okay. It's peaceful error, but it's not quite peaceful yet. You're in the graveyard. But yeah, there we go. Let's actually check out what's over here now. Let's stir the pot over here and presumably drew a bunch of these guys over to the other area, but apparently not all of them, because that one dude was still left. Leave the fort over there. So, oh, here's this place. So we need to come here, unless we also need a key for this. Yeah, we need the axe key. My goodness. We gotta keep in mind that there's a couple of places in the last area that we explored in the swamp that have of keys that, well, apparently that might account for all the other keys I need to find here, though, because there will be spaces for 3 more keys in the bottom there, the map screen, but well, we need to find some of these keys. Okay, I can barely see what's coming up here, but I'll manage. Okay, there's something there. Is that for the Quietus? That might be for the Quietus, or it might be for... yeah, there's a segment of Quietus. That's a blade. Or at least the length of the blade. And hopefully I will be able to... means we might be able to assemble all 3 of the ultimate weapons, or the all 3 characters in this version, which would certainly be interesting. I wonder how if they also rebalance that in the, yes, quote-unquote rebalanced version that they have for... they would have for Vanilla Heretic or Hexen, which they give you the ability to actually switch between the characters mid-game, then you collect all of the 3 characters' ultimate weapons in one run of Vanilla Hexen, because that certainly wasn't the case in the original. Like, which weapon parts you acquired is entirely dependent on the character you're playing. I'm not sure how it works, but... fuck. Fuck. There, fight each other. There you go. This we can approve of. Except that the center actually might win, which I'm not sure if I approve of. These are really terrible at killing each other, though. There we go. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately the centaur did win, but also... there. Be efficient about that. Almost, but not quite. There we go. Cannot get in these buildings, so it seems that we're finding in the spooky graveyard areas here. Yes, we will away from that now to a place that has a little more light, but oh gosh. What would be the best way to deal with the swamp monsters, I wonder? I guess just... oh, what? Oh, what the fuck? Okay, did that guy teleport in? He did teleport in. Why the fuck did you do that? Where did you teleport in from? You know, furthermore. Damn it. Oh. Well, looks like another, like, big open area with, like... there's the snakes up in the raised platforms shooting at us, and the Yetins just roaming the lower areas here. So we tend to deal with this a bit before. Fuck, on. Get it. And this guy just swooped in to ruin everything. Oh boy. Oh crap. Okay, this might be a little bit trickier than I thought. For a couple of different reasons. First of all, you shouldn't be shooting these so eagerly. I guess. Oh fuck. And now 2 more of these guys are coming out of nowhere. I guess 3. There. Are we done with those guys coming up out of nowhere to ruin the fun? No, here comes another one. Okay. Well, there's another one way over there, but I think I'm gonna be getting here quite so quickly. So frustrate what I'm trying to do here. Damn it. Alright, I think we took care of these guys at least. Well, we cleaned up this corner for at least a little bit, but these fuckers just keep falling in to where we are. Let's see if there's anything in here that I need to take a look at. There's just, well, there's a few things. Another banishment device. Altar things, which I guess are nobody are at full capacity. We've attracted too many. Try managing. Ooh, okay. We can fill up our blue mana again, jump over there, survey our surroundings for a little bit, and be able to, like, breathe easy at least for a moment. Well, we see that there are in fact more servants to deal with over here. Goodness. Just freaking watching the fire here. I guess a little bit of flavor and fucking centaurs. Well, I think the ones that can. There's the centaurs in this game are kind of like the golems in Heretic, in that the ones that can shoot at you are like technically their own special variety called slaughters. I think that's how it works. And of course, we start seeing them already. We fully explored this place from here. I don't believe we have done that at all now. If you hear more fucking serpent noises, I sure do. Serpents which sound more like, you know, bulls huffing. Oh, and they burn down the trees, I forgot about that. It's better than, like, you know, I see burning trees in a game like this, and I feel like whatever's going on here is better than the way they did burning trees, and I think it was Catacomb, either Armageddon or Apocalypse, where there's like 3 enemies that you have in one of the levels in that game, but once you kill them, they actually catch on fire. They don't disappear, they catch on fire, and they remain as a stationary object that if you touch them, you take damage, which really, really sucks if they happen to, you know, die in a very inconvenient location that you have to keep passing through. Definitely becomes an issue, but at least I think there's only like only 1 or 2 levels in that entire thing where something like that was something that you actually had to worry about. I'm trying to get up there so I can take out these serpents, but it's really, really hard to strafe. Or otherwise, do anything to avoid like, hold on. Maybe I can use these flechettes. I can toss the flechette as the dude. So maybe I can make use of it here. Oh fuck! That shit still hit me. I mean, how much if I toss like 3 flechettes? I don't know. Okay, that takes care of one of them. And we take care of the other one with the axe without getting shot. Nope, we cannot, because he does like to spam the shots, it seems. Couldn't resist the urge to start doing that. What have we did, oh. And then the one that was below it couldn't resist the urge to keep doing that. If there is one below, like I just heard a fucking teleportation sound there. What the fuck are these guys teleporting in from? It's whatever, I don't know. Unless it's like, is it a thing where, like, they just respawn randomly? Like the thing that I was talking about with Turok just a little while ago, where they kind of respawn like in periodically, like what happens in System Shock 1 as well, for example, where if the levels are very lonely, you will occasionally see like some new enemies being transported in. Like these weird devices that you never see at any other time. Like maybe that's why the... oh gosh, you don't get an enemy counter here. I think I vaguely remember something like that being the case, but... no, not really a fan of that. Okay, I don't know when I got turned around, but all of a sudden I'm having a hard time returning to the place where the rest of these enemies are. There's one. Fuck. It's always the same. And center. Where did these guys come from? How did I miss these guys completely before? Is of course the question. I guess we're moving on to the next little sub area here. Okay, that guy died smoothly enough. Can we say the same for this guy though? Yes. I thought I saw center just down here, and then apparently there's 3 of them. That's not great. Before I move up north, let me take a look down here, because it seems like there might be a potentially some kind of little secret here based on what it looks like on the map, but maybe I'm just making that up. Let me see if I can climb up to this platform up here. Once again, these don't look like houses. Like what I would call houses, they're more like, I don't know, structures. What do we have here? Need the horn key. Okay, apparently another place where we need a key, but... it's a 4th key, so we need to find at least 4 other keys that we have no idea where any of them are. Here. There we go. At least these 3 centaurs that were just chasing after me have been dealt with, so we know that there's, if we can go south from there, find a horn key. If we find a castle key or the swamp key, we can do stuff in the swamp, but there's like one more key that we found here that we needed, but I forgot which one it was. I found a Vestiges of Grandeur though, so let me take that. Ah, fuck. See if I can take care of this dude that's down here without him chipping me out like that. Only I could chip him out instead by, you know, using range attacks, but I did choose this this lifestyle for this, you know, for this particular part of the hub anyway. How am I... I want to say that Baratus actually does get a ranged attack of some kind, but definitely stuck with Timon's axe for quite some time ere that ever happens. Still one more left while there's another serpent down there. Hold on, before we head over there. Let me see what we got up here, because this area... that's kind of on the left side, kind of halfway up. We didn't check that out yet. What do we have here? Blood Scourge. Okay, so we found segments of the Wraith Verge, Quietus, and Blood Scourge. But only one of each. But more importantly, one of each. Oh shit, we got Centaurs over there. There are more Slaughters that are guarding the way to what I would presume to be. Oh gosh. The Chalice. Yeah, the earthen chalice is now mine. With it in hand, I believe I can declare this half completed once I manage to escape that is, but at least this map. We can move on to the next one when we return to this, but until then... Well, before we even get to that point, rather, like, escape this place. Oh wait, that's fucking... When the hell did you get here? I have to wonder, these guys, like, when these guys raise their shield to shoot out of their shield at me, does that also count as them raising their shield for defense? I wonder. Alright, I thought I just got shot. Let's see, I just got shot at from a serpent from right here, but where the hell did he go? I suppose that's my answer right there. Well, let's... oh, another serpent. Let's grab whatever blue mana I can right now. I went that way to get the Blood Scourge segment. And we've just completed the main objective here. Fuck. I guess we can just explore the rest of this place and see what else we can find. Just... curiosity. We get a key with no possess a required item. I guess we can also get like some kind of dagger here. Dagger shaped key perhaps. Dagger of Helios. And find something. Oh boy. I see a shield over there, which is presumably what I would want here. I don't know, just like... I feel like I should be writing these down with the amount of stuff that we have found that we can apparently unlock, and yet we don't know. I haven't found any stuff to unlock it with, but we can get the Falcon Shield, which... just, yeah, raises the armor class. It's a separate thing that I have to activate. Like the bracer was. I guess bracers are kind of a case parts there. Damn it. Really tricky, I think, without picking a cheap hit, but at least the, the fucking fishmen that shoot here, they seem like they damn might hit. Nice enough to do that. Did it that time, but I got screwed over by the terrain. Almost did it that time. There. I think that's it. Those guys are dealt with. And this place is mostly explored. There's apparently on the other side of this that we can get to, but we can't get to it. Well, we have to. Well, maybe not go all the way around because we did unlock that shortcut after we grabbed the chalice here. So we can just pass through here now and maybe get to the other side of this. Well, there's still like bars here, so we can't get to the other side of these bars as far as we can tell. Maybe if we use some kind of, oh, here lies Matt, I guess. Maybe once we actually, start finding the keys to unlock the crap that we're supposed to be able to unlock with the keys, we can do something about that, but in the meantime it doesn't really seem that way. Tell you what. Alright, it does look like there might be one place that we didn't fully explore here that we might be able to now. Let's see. This, well, here's what's in this direction, I'll put it that way. So I'll take a look and then just, if I don't find anything here that's like significant like a key, I guess I'll just walk right back off to the portals. And leave things off there. Because we didn't go here, even though it looks like there's a few things of interest here, like some quartz flasks. Flechettes. I guess we don't need the flechettes too badly right now, and you know, there's another crypt here that I have no idea how you would open that up, assuming that you can at all. Let's see if we can clear this place out. There's like those two serpents on top of this thing, but took care of one of them. And then I apparently discovered the key for you for causing a flechette without damn it. I thought it was enter. I mean, the key that I was not pretty sure that you used to use items in vanilla Hexen, which I always used before, and vanilla Heretic for that matter, is enter. But it is a little bit unwieldy to do that without, you know, shifting your entire hand to do that specifically. So I suppose using Q for items might be a good thing. And this one, is that the same icon as the gauntlets of the Necromancer from Heretic? The modified version of that. That's interesting. Makes sense, because I think, you know, this thing that shows up when you use a scroll wheel didn't exist until this version of the game, so it makes sense to, like, try and take advantage of whatever pre-existing assets they had. Now, let's see. I think I see, like, at least one little corner I may not have fully explored yet around here. Possibly. Dude. I'm pretty sure there's more dudes and creatures that are just spawning in randomly. Just because the game thinks that the stages are too lonely if you don't do that, which I don't agree with, but you know, like, got a fucking party over here and also a serpent. So I don't know, maybe these guys were in fact just here and they didn't spawn in. Feels like they did though. At least you can just, hopefully they are the variety they do spawn in. It's like a system shot one where if that happens, at least they are the variety where you can just beat them all up with a melee weapon that's, or just with a weapon that doesn't use up any consumable ammo. But did I come back here because I wanted to see over here? I come over here, okay, I just surrounded by stuffs. But I guess we don't need any of this stuff. It's just some nice things, but there's also the X. I guess the X just shows like the way back out, which we did fully explore this place and we found challenges I was in this place, so let's just get out of here, I guess. Make our exit at once. By placing the chalice, but before we do that, I guess I'm gonna bring out the next guy. Yeah, this is the guy that uses the Blood Scourge, if we manage to put that together. We don't have weapon number 2, but we have weapon number 3, which I don't remember if that's how it works in vanilla Hexen. I'll have to look into that. But we found another one of the chalices, so let's place that. Which apparently wants to try this out, because we have a bunch of fuckers that just spawned in. Okay, this seems like it works pretty well, I would say. It doesn't really look like the, oh gosh. Oh shit, what? Oh damn it, I got hurt. I almost, like, killed him, like, incredibly neatly, but then that didn't. Damn it. Let's try that again and do it properly this time. guess I can get trapped by my own spells if I do this flame one. I don't know. I would say this is effective, but it also looks like, to be honest with you, it's kind of it's taking a while to kill these sandors. Maybe some of these were slaughters, and that's a problem. I don't know. Or maybe it's supposed to be like gradually hurt some kind of thing, but they like shield themselves with the, you know, the shield, and that prevents them from doing the like damage over many frames thing that it's supposed to be doing, or whatever. Hopefully this, hopefully I don't regret doing this. Picking Mr. Pariahs here for this next leg of the journey, which apparently we ever pick this time. We can either go there to, I guess it looks like Icy World, or here, which is maybe Lava World. Oh boy, that sounds exciting. Yeah, this is indeed a Lava World. I don't know. I feel like neither of these places feel like they would be very captivating, but I mean, this looked like a pretty interesting place. We made it to the fucking, you know, what's it called? Fucking place from Elden Ring, the Volcano Mansion Manor. What if we go to, I mean, I'm not gonna do it right now, I'm about to end stream, but once we go to Ice Cliffs, by the looks of it, they kind of look like places you would also potentially see in Blood. I'm pretty sure there was at least one level like that in Blood, where it's like a lava place. A lava cliff caldera or something. Even though that's, yeah, definitely there were also like icy cliff levels in Blood, which I remember that particularly because it reminded me of, you know, this game and Heretic more specifically, where you had levels like that. But I guess we're gonna try out Mr. Pariahs for the next leg of the journey, which might be that one. Honestly, might be the ice area. Might be a little more manageable, but we're gonna be doing that next time when I come back to this game, which, like I said last time, will hopefully be soon. That's about as well as I can put it right now. But for now, let me simply reestablish the musics that we had before. So I just move to conclude things for the time being by moving over to the end of stream screen that we always go to. And I have to remind myself that this is like just like a specific media rendering from the original Gabriel Knight game. It's not one of the tracks of the remix album that just does like a reinterpretation of the very same artwork that you see here. Which is Synth of the Fathers, which actually came out very recently for, you know, a game that's this old. No, this particular song has a remix in that album anyway, I don't think it does, but hey, it's another track that I haven't heard in a while, but that you do hear a lot when you play this game and go back to it. The opening title thing you have to skip past at the beginning. But yeah, good track is ending to end things up for now, so just to reiterate, I guess I'll just, now that I've sessioned over to playing the Hexen part of Heretic plus Hexen Remaster, and checking out the new episode that they put out for that. Just continue on with that whenever I come back to stream, which, as always, I just hope is, you know, soon. Sooner than later, sometime soon. Reasonably soon. Hopefully this week, at least once. Hopefully, you know, the hub that comprises this new episode in Hexen is something that I'm able to complete on stream by the end of this week, put it that way. Which probably will just take one more stream as I did with the Heretic episode, but I suppose we'll see. Anyway, wouldn't you know it? Another track for Spooky Season, which continues on through to the conclusion of the year. But yeah, that's pretty much a plan for the immediate future, like I said, and then once I get past that, I guess I just move on to Hexen 2, which really I'm looking forward to finally being able to check out, because it's It's been on my radar for ages, and I've had like little forays into it for quite a long time, but never fully committed to like play through the whole thing. But in the meantime, I guess I'll see if I can go back to getting through Quake 2 and maybe a few other games that I can play through before I complete my forays that I actually will do through Hexen 2 and then Heretic 2, and then finally bring a conclusion to that that little series after all this time. But yeah, until the next stream, I'll just say you'll take it easy. Thank you very much for coming, like always. If you drop by, thanks very much for that. If you're checking out this, after the fact, and also thank you for that. And the thing that I always say, which is that I will see you later.